I'm doing good.
Slide that in there.
Guys, take up my spot. I won't let you out, Sam. It's your podium. It's our podium. How about that? All right, guys. Obviously, we had a great win. Anytime you get a win, it's a great one. But great win on Saturday. Road trip. It's always good to go on the road and get a W, no matter where it is or who it's against. And Akron had a good football team, as we knew going in, and I thought they were exceptional on the front seven, and that showed up to be true. Got a great chance to go on the road and play in some nasty weather as well. I told you it was a Steel City weather on Saturday, and it was sloppy. Our kids had a great attitude going through the whole day because they loved it. And then yesterday I hear them in a meeting go, that was the worst. I've never seen anything like that. So they had the great attitude that you want going into it and played into the whole experience. Really thought our kids were locked in on the trip, which we talked about being a business trip, and they really stayed locked in the whole time. I thought that was good. Turnover ratio in the bad weather, it was really a good job by both teams holding on to the ball. But we ended up being +1 there, which, we need to be. All the time we got to be, we got to win the turnover ratio, the turnover war. And we won the time possession war as well, talking team-wise. So I thought that was good. I think we had possession 37 minutes. And when you look at that, we had 4 drives of 8 plays or more for our offense. 4 drives of 8 plays or more, 8 being the lowest. But I think we had a couple 10 and a 12 or 13 play drive, which is huge to win the time possession. And that's what we lacked the week before. We had big explosive gains the week before, but we didn't have that time possession. We'd like to get both. We'd like to have a little bit of both, some more explosive gains that we didn't have. Defensively, we had six 3-and-outs, which helps that time possession. Everybody always thinks the offense holding on to the ball is time of possession, but it's a two-way street. And when our defense goes 3 and out, 6 out of the 13 possessions, I think that plays in part to, we're giving the ball back to our offense and they get some drives going. It keeps our defense fresh. So I think those things are all bonuses there. So obviously, we got a big road game on the road in a crazy atmosphere. I've had some experiences being out at the University of Iowa, in that stadium. I don't believe I've ever played at night there, so I can imagine they'll probably have the stripes, the black and gold stripes in the stands and all. It'll be probably as good an atmosphere as you're going to spend on a college game day for our kids and for theirs. So it'll be a great experience, I think, to go out there. Obviously, we told our guys yesterday the preseason's over, so this is a big-time opponent. We're going to find out what we've got. I hope our guys prepare even a little bit more every week as we go on. Every game gets a little bit bigger, and you're 2-0 going out to Iowa City, and it's going to be a big ball game. So, you guys got any questions? Bill?
Fairness has been there for a while. What are some of the trademarks of the teams that he's put out in his program?
Say that again?
Fairness is, he's been with that program for a while. What are some of the trademarks of his teams?
Well, Kirk Ferentz is, obviously an offensive-minded coach. He's an O-line guru. His son coaches for him on the O-line, and he's a tremendous football coach. They will be known for their toughness. I mean, I would say, they'd be known for what we want to be known for is a blue-collar, tough football team. But they will come out and be a physical football team up front and on both sides of the ball. They got a lot of offensive linemen playing in the NFL. They're going to have a first-rounder every other year. It seems like they'll produce them, and they'll be a tough football team that's going to smack you in the mouth. So we got to be ready to smack back.
How do you anticipate the sort of quarterback situation going this week? How are you going to decide who gets the start?
We don't decide. The kids decide. Okay. Great question. I figured a quarterback question was going to come. No better guy than Sam to ask that question. It's going to go like it's gone. We pretty much are going to play the guys that practice the best, and really, Chad's come prepared every week. And I don't expect him to come any less prepared this week. Again, as I said after the game Saturday, we're just going to go with the hot hand. We got two very, very, very capable quarterbacks, and I feel comfortable with both those guys. We didn't have that in the spring, and I think when you have a team that's like this, and they're all together, those two guys, Nathan and Chad spend about 2 to 3 hours, a week together by themselves one night. I don't know if it's Wednesday night or Thursday night or Tuesday night. but they spend. So they're like this, and which is a great thing for guys that haven't been around each other forever. You know, they haven't been around for 2 or 3 years together. So we got a tight-knit football team, and you know, we'll find out who has a better week of practice, right? You know, right near Thursday, and try to make a decision. But I still anticipate, whichever way it goes, of maybe that third series, that other guy coming in and playing. And it doesn't matter who it is. It's just the way it is. And you know, just to find out, you know, you guys have good days writing and bad days writing. Okay, sometimes the camera guys screw up and they don't have focus. And same thing happens to quarterbacks sometimes. I'm not saying either one of them had that in the last 2 weeks, but we'll just find out who's got the hot hand. And it's the same way at tailback, you know, by committee that way. So, good question, Sam.
Ongoing competition, how much do you guys sort of communicate with them, you know, where they stand or why you guys are making the decisions?
You know, great question. I mean, we communicate with our guys every day. Every day they're, first of all, sitting in these seats, and we talk to them every day. I mean, Coach Cheney's going to be in constant contact with them, and I think that's the first thing that you have is that relationship with your players that you talk to them. I mean, there's nothing worse, and Pat Bostic can tell you, as a quarterback walking out and not knowing where you stand that day. I mean, there's got to be that communication as a staff and you know, with our players, and it's a constant communication, and it's constant competition at every position. I don't care if it's linebacker, quarterback, you know, left tackle. I mean, it's going to be there, and you know, we expect our guys to come to practice every day. We expect them to practice and practice well if they want to play. Sometimes sometimes I've done it where you played a guy and you look back and said, God, I wish we would, you know, wish he'd have practiced more. Maybe we shouldn't have started him, and sometimes you get us and sometimes you don't. But we expect our guys to practice and go. And if they don't practice a whole bunch, I'm not sure how comfortable we feel putting you on the field on Saturday being the guy. You can come in relief, but to be the guy is a different story. So.
Because practice is so important, Pat, will you wait until the end of the week to tell the so-called winner who will start?
The winner. I like that. Everybody's a winner. Yeah, I mean, we're going to wait till Thursday. I mean, see how, you know, Thursday's, you know, perfect Thursday. We would like to make sure we're sharp and detailed, and that'll be important. So there's no question. We'll wait till that day. That's what we do every week at every position.
How important is it?
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, you got it, and you're next.
How important is it as a defensive coach to know who the team's going to play quarterback?
You know, I'd like to know who it is. You know, so to not know who it is maybe you wonder, you know, and I'm not sure either one of those guys have a different style. I think they both are very similar as far as what they can do and what they do on tape. But, you know, as a defense coach, I'd like to know. And if I don't know, it kind of makes you wonder, hey, which one am I going to get? What's this guy do? Because you're always looking to say, hey, does he scramble to his right? Does he scramble to his left? Is he a spin runner? Does he do this or that? So you'd like to know what you're preparing for before you see it.
Is the hope for some separation, though, at some point?
Yeah, I think you always hope for that, you know. You know, I've had it in the past where it's gone 5 games as a safety. You know, we let the kids decide and let them do it on the field, because I think there's nothing worse as a football player to say, Sam, you're starting, and then 3 weeks later, Sam, you're not starting. You know, just we'll find out. I mean, I think they're both very capable, like I said, and eventually you'd like to do that. But I've gone 5 games with a safety rotating every series for 5 games, and then finally said, okay, he's the guy. And you just kind of figure it out, and you let it play out. And I think it's good for the team when it comes that way. It wasn't the coach making the decision, because it's not easy. When things are equal, and I think they're pretty equal back there. I think they both do great things, and when it's equal, you know, we'll find out in the heat of the battle.
As far as you know, is the visiting locker room at Iowa still pink?
Yes, it is.
Did that ever make
Pink toilets, pink everything. I mean, I don't think there's any pink water coming out of the faucets, but everything is pink.
Did that ever make you guys docile or have the desired effect?
No. No. If it did, I'd have Ox go in there with a spray painter. We paint it up. I don't think I think that's old school.
As the first 2 games, for quarterback, you've sort of rotated in the first half and then settled on one guy for the second half. I mean, is that sort of the working model, or would you be open to rotating in the second half too? We're open to rotate in the second half. I mean, it just kind of you got to go with the feel. And I don't know if it had to do with quarterbacks wearing gloves on game day. I mean, you're trying to wear a glove with as wet as it was. His balls will get slippery if you guys ever played in the backyard with a wet football before. But it gets slippery out there, and sometimes it comes down to grip. And so dry game, wet game,
snowy game, we'll have to make that decision.
Does Nate show you anything more or different on game day than sort of practice?
Sometimes. I mean, sometimes, just the knowledge and all that, you see different things. I mean, every day is different, Every day is a different day for these kids. I mean, I think we forget, like the Steelers are out there practicing. They're not like those guys. Those guys woke up, had a heck of a breakfast, and locked into the game plan. These guys are going to class, and, they have a test that evening. Oh, I got to study for a test. So you see something different every day. These guys are student athletes. They're not just football players.
As a head coach, Pat, would you like maybe one of them step up and seize the job so at the beginning of the week?
So you guys don't ask me questions anymore?
Well, no, I don't care about that. You don't either, I'm sure.
You know what?
I'm saying is, you want someone to seize the job, so there's no question as you start the week.
I think eventually you'd like to have that, yeah.
How, probably this is my last quarterback question. How did you like how Chad responded to sort of getting pulled out of the game on Saturday?
I love how Chad, Chad is the most unbelievable kid. If you get to know him, he's a leader, he's a competitor. And you can guarantee Tuesday he'll be coming out there competing. He'll probably want to take his red jersey off and turn it loose and just put a regular old jersey on. But he's a competitor and he's a leader. And, like I said, they don't get any better than Chad Wojtek as far as character goes. And Nathan, for that part, the same way. I mean, Nathan came in battling as well, trying to be the starter, and he's taken it well and just kept plugging away. And that's how you become a good football team, when there is competition. Nobody's giving in, and that's the way you want it to be at every position. He was good. Could have been better. Like a lot of us, could have been better. I probably could have been better too. My knee was a little sore though. But Quadri was good. Was he great? No. He missed some things, and Darren Hall came in and played pretty solid too. So, his first start too. It's always easy to come in as a reliever too. Don't forget that. I think it takes a little pressure off you not having to be the guy starting. So, but Quadri came in being the guy, maybe a little bit more pressure on him than he wanted or we wanted. But he'll step up and have a better week this week. He got that first, really, you could say that Youngstown game was his first game, but he didn't have any time to think about being the guy. He had no idea he was going to be the guy. Now he had an idea he was the guy. We'll see how he responds week 2.
I think one of the bright spots on the team has been Devontae. What have your impressions been of him after 2 weeks of game play?
You know what? He's been a gamer. He's a guy that you watch in practice, and what you saw in practice every single day in practice was what you saw on the field. Whatever you saw in the fourth quarter program or in the summer conditioning program, you've seen on the field. That guy is a football player, whether it be on special teams or on defensive corner. He's made plays, and he's a gamer. That's what I've seen.
What do you like and not like about your pass protection?
Again, we got a lot of guys rotating in there. We got to protect the quarterback, obviously, better than we did. And like I said, they had 2 very good defensive ends that are athletic and physical and change up the thing. We just got to continue to, understand what someone's doing to us. We got to change some of our sets. We can't be so robotic and have the same set every time. And that's something the young guys are going to have to learn how to do, and they will.
You got a Terrence Webb listed as the starter ahead of Reggie. Is that mostly a function of Reggie's health, and what do you sort of see?
It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both, to be honest with you. Reggie Mitchell was the guy that started off, spring ball. I think he's starting free safety in camp, and then, got banged up a little bit. But then T. Webb came in, and T. Webb's played, really one of those guys that's played better than he practices at times, and which is great for him. That's what you find out on game day. So he's had 2 big evaluations, and I'm happy with where Terrace is. He's doing a nice job, and Reggie will have his hands cut out for him when he comes back.
You got a long string of road games here after the Youngstown game.
I got one game. We got one game, Iowa. That's all I needed. I don't know about strings. We'll talk about that one game, Sam. Yep.
What do you anticipate from Chris James and
Chris was ready to go last week. He's 100% ready to go. Again, comes down to practice. We want to be careful with him and put him in a yellow jersey last week, just so people. It's kind of like one of those caution lights, I was with Chris LaSalle today. He ran through a yellow light, and I was like, slow down. We got, can't go through a yellow light. And we try to slow some guys down on him so we don't hit them. But with the weather being like it was and him not getting hit, hold on to the ball and ball security being important, it was just one of those things. If we didn't need him, let's not throw him out there. And he fumbles the ball, then I'm going to look at myself and blame myself that, shoot, he didn't take a hit all week. Maybe we shouldn't have put him in the game and not put him in a bad position. So he'll be ready to go for sure, and he's going to take some hits this week too.
What was your evaluation of Whitehead and Amara, how those two guys fared against that?
You know, Pat didn't get a whole lot of snaps back there on the hash for whatever reason. You know, sometimes, you know, I know Coach Conklin's up in the booth, and sometimes his coaches, just like with Ginnis, you know, a week ago, and then we got him some snaps, and he did some nice things. But we probably should have rotated Pat in there a little bit more, but that happens every week. You get into the, you know, and there wasn't many snaps, and we had 49 total snaps. That's with probably a couple penalties, so probably 47 snaps on defense. So you didn't have 65, 75, 79 snaps like we did the week before. And I've been in 113 snaps before where you need everybody. So it was cool. There was no heat concerns, and Jordan was doing a nice job. So we didn't, you know, feel that we needed to, you know, get Pat in there, and probably should have just to give him an opportunity to go show what he's got. But you know, Jordan Whitehead's had really a tremendous football camp for as young as he is, and for maybe not having as much knowledge as you would imagine for a freshman, but he's really done a nice job. So I'm happy with where he is, and Pat's a competitor to come back and give some more.
Biz is getting healthy.
Biz is getting healthy, you know, I think. I mean, shoot, thought he was healthy last week, but just didn't practice, and hopefully he can get some reps in this week. We'd like to have him back.
Other than those sort of injuries that you knew about, did he come out of the Akron game clean other than that?
Came out pretty clean. Came out real clean probably, so.
Are you had the first two games against teams that country at large thinks Pitt should, you know, a Power 5 team should handle an FCS team and a MAC team. Is this, I mean, are you sort of curious as to see how you guys stack up against
Of course, every coach is, you know. We put, you know, like I told our kids last night, they don't care what you did last week, even if we'd have beat, you know, USC last weekend. They don't care what you did last week or the week before. You guys only care about next Saturday. That's all we care about in here. That's all I really care about. I don't care how many sacks you had. I want to know how many sacks you're going to have this week or how many touchdown passes. So, you know, you get more and more curious every week of how we're going to react on the road in a big-time atmosphere on national TV. I mean, it'll certainly be interesting. And, you know, again, you can get beat any Saturday, so you better come ready. And, you know, Arkansas, I think, saw that this week with Toledo, and Maryland saw it this week with Bowling Green. And we could have saw it, but we came ready to play, and our guys, you know, played a darn good ball game. So it can, you know, we can say that, oh, yeah, it's okay, it's easy. It ain't easy. Every game's a battle.
Are you a little disconcerted maybe that a receiver, a competent wide receiver, had stepped up behind again?
You know, I don't know if you say that. I mean, Dantes Ford had a heck of a catch against Youngstown. I'm not sure how many catches he had or opportunities he had. But I really like what Dantes has done for us. You know, Zach Challingsworth is a player, and it's just a matter of, you know, who you're showcasing. And some guys do need to step up, and we've got to get the ball to those other guys because, you know, I guarantee you I was probably going to double team him, and really, you know, Akron did too. I mean, late in that game, they started putting two guys on Tyler, so we got to go to the other guy to open up, you know, Tyler. So that's going to be important, and especially against, you know, Iowa does a great job in coverage. I mean, they're very similar to us defensively. They're very sound. They're not going to get real fancy with what they do, but what they do is they match routes good in the passing game, and they'll get on you, and you know, they'll make plays in the back end. So we got to do a good job at mixing it up. If we just try to look to throw it to Tyler Boyd the whole time, we'll have problems.
Final questions, Will? I know you're going to.
Yeah, Pat, I was just curious, when I was walking in, I saw James standing outside, you know, getting his knee brace and his crutches on. Is there any scenario where he plays this year?
Ask James, I guess,
Well,
right?
I sort of did ask James since it was informal.
Oh, it was off the record?
Well, yeah, so I'm not gonna put it on you.
That's like
Hey.
policy. What do you do?
Hey.
Well, I mean,
You were walking by him on the street, right?
it's like literally.
You know, I don't think so. I think, you know, he'd be crazy and we'd have a big long talk. Doesn't mean he won't be ready to play, but, you know, do we do that? You know, I can't tell you he won't be ready because, you know, we've had guys. You know, we had a player at Michigan State, Arthur Ray, come down with cancer, and he said he'd never play again. Well, he did. Doctor said there's no way you can play. Almost lost his leg, and you know, that's all someone had to do is say he couldn't, and all of a sudden he came back. So maybe I should say he can't, and maybe he'll come back. But you know, for his best interest, he needs to get healthy.
Okay. Thank you.
You good?
Yes.
You guys want me to push pause over here?
Did you get to watch the end of the Michigan State game on Saturday? I did. Yeah.